We are live. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hey.
My musician Margaret, Ron, Donald, the famous Palisades Virtuosi ensemble.
God, I wish we
So,
were famous.
yeah, great. Great
Here we
to
are.
see you here. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you, Ching. Thank you
Nice
for
to
inviting
see you
us.
all.
Yes. Yes, great to see you all. So, now tell us a little bit about, first of all, actually, let me read to our audience a short biography. I know you have accomplished a lot, and then we are going to read a short version. Palisades Virtuosi is excited to announce the release of their seventh volume of newly commissioned works for flute, clarinet, and piano. This volume is a 2 CD set entitled Songs and Stories and includes all the works that have been commissioned by Palisades Virtuosi over the past few years that use voice and narrators to tell a story. Palisade Virtuosi was formed by three friends to promote and enrich the repertoire for flute, clarinet, and piano. They perform concerts that include existing repertoire for this configuration and also supplemented by solos, duos, and large works featuring guest artists. It is their intent to present a new work for flute, clarinet, and piano on each of their programs. To this end, each season, they commission new works by award-winning composers for each of their series concerts. Palisades Virtuosi is available to present educational and instructional programs customer tailored to all age groups from elementary school to professional. Thank you so much. So welcome again. Now, I wanted to tell people that let's emphasize one more time. Their seventh newly created released CD is going to have a virtual watch party on Sunday the 7th at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to watch their videos first on Sunday, and then there will be a interaction Zoom party afterwards. So you are all welcome to join their party and after party. Thank you so much. So, so tell us a little bit how the heck three of you met and when.
Well, we've known each other for a long time. Don and Ron have known each other, I think, the longest. And I think I met Don about 30 years ago. I know. And then Don was gone away a long time on tour, but he came back and we did some music together. And then he went away again. And then he came home finally with kids and a family and came off the road. And then we started this trio because we had loved playing together so much. And we did a couple of concerts. And then Ron had the brilliant idea that since we had kind of run out of repertoire, there wasn't that much repertoire for this combination. And Ron had the brilliant idea to start commissioning new music.
Ron had the expensive idea.
So that was in 2003. And we have been commissioning music ever since then. So it's almost, it's been 18 years. Yeah. And we have...
How many works you have been commissioned?
Right now, when we do the three pieces that are waiting for the concert halls to reopen, when we perform those three, we will be at number 90.
Whoa! Bravissimo!
That's pieces that have been commissioned and also pieces that have been written for us. Some pieces have been commissioned by other people for us. Ron has commissioned a number of pieces. I've commissioned, I think, one or two. And we've just been doing that, for the last 18 years, and that's what we got.
That's wonderful. Ron, you have anything to add on to Margaret's comment?
He always has something to add.
I think she encapsulated everything nicely. We were doing sidebars. I met Margaret while Donnie was on tour. I've known Don since he was in college, and so we finally triangulated when he came back. And as she said, there's historically there's only a handful of great works for our configuration. And we said, well, what are we going to do? We're going to play these things ad nauseum. We're going to disband, and nobody relished that idea. So since we all, it may, I don't know, I get blamed for this all the time. It may or may not have been my idea. I may have been the one to articulate what everybody
usually is.
I was driving west on Route 4 and you called me on my cell phone, which like never happens. He hates the cell phone. But this is like 20 years ago, and he called me on my cell phone, and I was driving west on Route because why don't we start a trio with Donnie?
Wow.
Well, as Marie Chevalier sang, I remember it well. Maybe. But anyway. Moving right along, all of us, I think, enjoy the experience of hatching a new work. We, in our various ensembles and whatnot that we had separately, we all certainly had a reasonable amount of experience doing so. And so, when you run out of standard repertoire, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm good at no-brainers. There's nothing up here. So I suggested commissioning, and the rest is history. By the way, I think we're more like 92 or 93. I have some separate commissions hatching on this.
You haven't told us about, I see.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're on our way.
Who's
We're gonna try to hang in there for 100. That's the plan, I think.
Right. So, Don, do you have anything to add on to your teammates' comments?
Not usually.
Don is the discreet one.
Ron and I.
Ron played. I hired Ron to play my Juilliard audition, and I haven't been able to get rid of him since. And he didn't have white hair then, but it wasn't that long. It just feels like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
It's amazing.
It's been wonderful.
Just remember, folks, hopefully we will be continuing as a trio after this broadcast. So consider what comes out of your mouth.
Well, I was just going to say that Don doesn't usually say a lot because Ron and I suck all the air out of a room.
Yeah.
Well, Ron doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Need it.
Very, very nice. Different personalities in your group, and can you imagine if you have a three Margaret? You probably will fight, right?
Yeah, we don't fight.
No, we never fight.
Yeah. So before we discuss more about your musical collaborations and the process of how these creation works, should we listen to one excerpt of yours? Which one should we?
The ones that I sent you are excerpts from the album. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. Did you guys have a preference which one we started with? Do you want to do the Laurel Tree? Yes, like that. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the Laurel Tree. It's a song cycle,
Okay.
and it's the story of Daphne, who was afraid. She was being chased by Apollo. Apollo was trying to, and she pleaded to her father to help her, and he helped her by turning her into a laurel tree. So Apollo was out of luck, and this song cycle is a series of 5 poems that are written by all different poets. And this is the 4th one, which is a poem by Colin Way Reid, and it's called Daphne After. And it's one of the most lovely ones there's 5 gorgeous pieces in this cycle. And this one, the words to it are very short. It's in the absence of a heart grown stem-wise, silent, slow Daphne drinks unremembering the unknown. In the manner of a laurel, thinks in branches, sometimes blossoms. Real forgetting is her secret, long detachment, no split sense to heal. Only sentiment and song, remembering how she suffered, ran in terror, turning tree and past to present. Where the myth began, the laurel is the lights at last.
Beautiful. So this is with the mezzo soprano Barbara
Deborah.
Deborah.
Yes, quite famous singer from the Metro Opera.
There we go.
And this work was commissioned for Barbara. I had been working with Tom Juno for a while and had done several of his works, and I was very impressed. So I loved his treatment of the voice. So this was kind of a gift from us to Barbara.
Yes. Bravo. So we had some technical problems at the beginning, so we can replay that later, okay? Because it was muted too soon. So that was beautiful.
It's
Thank you.
gorgeous piece.
We love it.
Yeah, we really
And
love
we
it.
love Barbara.
Yes. What we're trying to do too today is just put a couple of clips out of pieces that you're not going to hear on Sunday on the video. We're doing different things on the video. So
Yeah. Is this work has how many movements altogether?
has five.
Five.
Mhm.
Yep.
They're wonderful.
They're
the
all
one you're going to hear on Sunday is real fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's kind of a habanera. There's actually a little line that sounds like it's out of the Carmen habanera. So it's a lot of fun. It's a cool movement.
And it
That's
uses
great.
bass clarinet.
Yep.
Which we also do. I'll play bass or E flat at times, and Margaret will play the other flutes, piccolo a lot, and alto.
Yep.
So we get much more range.
And I've been known to molest the piano by reaching in and plucking its innards and
That's right.
and doing all sorts of nasty things to it.
Yes. So can you share a little bit about like how you in general approach composers in large? Do you approach them, or sometimes they approach you? And then how does in general, I'm sure you have made so many commissions, 90 of them, each of them are slightly different. So tell us a little bit about the collaboration between you and the composers.
Ron, why don't you tell about our very first piece?
Is that the butterfly piece?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go from the general to the specific. I would say that a good half of them have happened because we actually know the composer. And one thing that's very important, although I keep on breaking this rule, is that we try to not promise anything to a composer unless all of us like that composer's work. But of course, sometimes we make sidebar agreements, and usually by the time a piece trickles in, the percentage of pieces that we get that we like is pretty high. But with any group that commissions on an ongoing basis, of course, the word spreads. So sometimes we're approached by people. Sometimes we reach out to people that we don't know personally, but we are very impressed by something we've heard by them. Guys, you want to add to that?
I'm just amazed at how good they all are.
Yeah.
Like you said, we like just about every one of them. It's amazing. Very talented people out there. Now, it's 18 years now. So like just today, we got 2 requests, right? We are getting requests now as people know who we are.
Yeah. And I just got a third one I haven't sent over yet.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, so we get approached a lot now, and we're kind of really backed up, especially since we haven't been able to perform for a year, together. So we're hoping that later this spring we'll be able to finally get back in the hall. We've got 2 pieces that are due for premiere on the first concert, and then a third one a little later in the year, I think. So we've got a lot to do.
We do.
A lot to catch up on.
Part of the reason that we are approached, we should talk about our recording effort. So many people have purchased our CDs. We actually get some email from abroad. That's not in this country, that kind of abroad. And I'm sorry, I'm the clown in the group. I can't help it.
We need to.
It's not unusual for us to have composers say they heard one of our discs and would we be interested in working with them. We are, Margaret, why don't you talk about Forte, which is a relatively new endeavor for us? Yes,
we have been, we've released we actually released our first album by ourselves, and it was standard repertoire before we started actually commissioning. And that's on our own label, High Point Records. And then we began our series of New American Masters. So this is the 7th volume, the one that we're recording, that we've just recorded now and releasing. But we have 6 volumes of new music that we've commissioned on the Albany Records label. And when it came time to do this double disc, it was just, we decided that we would give Jeffrey James our tip of the hat and try working with him for his label. He has his Forte Records. And so we're being released through his label this time around.
Yeah, we still love you, Albany.
Yes, we love Albany.
Yes, we do.
This was a huge project, so we had to be as efficient financially as possible.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's not easy for composers sometimes because they don't have people to perform their works. So composers need musicians, good musicians and ensembles. And then ensembles like yours in I would say, piano, flute, clarinet is not as common as sort of a piano trio or string quartet or even string trio setting. So it's a kind of a little bit unusual and to have, enough repertoire to perform. So you're so they are lucky to have you, and you work so hard to have them. So it's such a wonderful collaboration, and somebody is behind this wheel. And I have so much respect for you guys, and you've done such a wonderful job
Thank
for
you.
so
Thank
many years.
Okay. I think part of the reason that a lot of composers are receptive to us and are reaching out to us is because they see, that we are really dedicated to not just performing their piece for a premiere, but also performing it again and again, and then getting it disseminated by putting it on a recording and sending it out to the world. So I think they look at our track record with what we've done over the past, I think our first CD came out in 2006. So 2006 to now, 15 years. This is 7 albums in 15 years, which is, a pretty good track record.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Ironically, I'm just thinking in my head, like I have known Margaret actually for as long as I moved to New York City, which is 23 years ago.
Wow.
23 years ago, you guys are not even making CDs yet. I already knew of her because our common friends. Yeah, I worked with another
That's
colleague.
right. I did meet you before.
Yeah.
Before they were born. Right. I knew you when the girls were born. So they'll be 20 in May. So yeah.
Yeah. So I knew someone, and that someone constantly, that's Ruth
Yes.
Kaylee, constantly say, Margaret this, Margaret that, Margaret this, Margaret that. You should meet Margaret. You should.
I know. And then she's talking to me going, you Ching this, Ching that, Ching this, Ching that. You have to meet Ching.
It's amazing. So anyway, finally we met. So it's amazing. Yeah, how the small world, connect us to each other because music. Yeah. So you want to share another excerpt? Let's see. This time I'll make sure we play. I do it right.
Okay. Let's do the what was the other one I sent you? The what else?
I'll show it to you. I'm not gonna mute you guys. Just make sure we don't make any like noise or something. So that way I don't click the wrong button. So let's see. You have sent me 4 things there. The Sea Princess, and then
yes. Let's talk about the Sea Princess.
Okay.
So this one came about because of Ron. Many of our projects happened because of Ron, and he knew Seymour Barab and had. He was a very, very famous writer of operetta, and especially children's operetta pieces for voice and instrumentation. And this piece is it's an operetta. I mean, it's long. It's like 50 minutes long, and it's basically a tour de force. It's the story of the little princess, the Sea Princess, the Little Mermaid, but it's the Hans Christian Andersen version of it. So it doesn't have the happy ending, but it's really beautiful in the resolve at the end. It's very, it's very satisfying, even though it's sad. So what the soprano has to do in this work is she's not only the narrator, but she also has to act all the different voices of the characters. So there's the mother, there's the father, there's the sisters, there's the princess herself, there's there's this doctor who performs the spell, and then there's the charming prince, and then his parents. I mean, there's all these different characters. But
and the narrative. And the narrative.
And I did say that in the beginning. She's the narrator. So what she has to do is embody each of these characters. So this excerpt we're going to play for you is just a little clip of her singing the character of the witch, who the king called upon to help when the princess wanted to become able to dance. She wanted to have legs. So he thought of this person, and this is the excerpt.
It's kind of strange right now to see this thing is what do you call it? Keeps scrolling. It's not going anywhere. Let me see. Let me click play. Let me click play. Okay. Okay.
Then a thought occurred to him. He suddenly remembered a subject of his who was believed to have magical powers. He sent for her with instructions that she be taken directly to the princess. She was a jolly creature. She sang to the princess. Your Highness, when summoned by royalty, I think it only fitting that I comply. So here am I, ready to do your bidding. But who are you? Asked the princess. You ask who I am, and I reply, I'm not a who, much less a why. I'm not a what, I'm not a how, I'm not a when. So once again, I say to you, I'm not a who, or a why, or a what, or a how, or a when. I'm a witch, I'm a witch, I'm a witch. Not just any old crone of a witch, but your friendly neighborhood witch. And let your future's looking bright, 'cause I am here to set things right. I'll incantate a magic spell that if you're sick, will make you well. Or if you're hungry, I'll make you suffer, 'cause I'm the world's foremost cheerful umber. And if you need someone to scratch and itch, mercy be, you will see, you can always count on me. I'm a witch, I'm a witch, I'm a witch. Not just a old crone of a witch, but your friendly neighborhood witch.
Very good for her.
So that was Timothy Maureen Cole, and she's just a fabulously talented young woman. I met her doing a recording session for another group 2 years ago, and I was just blown away by her ability to sing the rhythms and sing perfectly in tune, and she was just amazing. So when we needed to, this piece was originally written for us for Bob McGrath. Do you know who Bob McGrath is?
Mm-mm.
He was an entertainer on Sesame Street, and he did the premiere of this piece with us. Singer and narrator, you know, and just he was Bob on Sesame Street.
Yes. I have the image now. Yeah.
So anyway, he's basically retired, and when we wanted to record this piece, we certainly approached him and said, you know, we're looking to do this. Do you want to do it? And he was like, it's just going to be too much at this point. You know, he's definitely gotten a lot older, and he's amazing and wonderful and so supportive, you know, and he was really happy that we came to him and asked him. But
we miss him.
But then we miss him so much. He's still alive and well, but he's just retired.
Yeah.
But then we started talking about it. I said, well, if we're going to do somebody different, I don't want to just do another male voice. We should do something completely different. And so we went with the female voice, and I think it was a really great move.
Great choice.
Yeah, great choice. She was great.
She was fantastic.
Yeah. So so now, pandemic. It's been a year now. How did that affect your performance? I'm sure it's devastating.
Never sounded better.
We were supposed to have
performance.
We were supposed to have a performance on March 29th of 2020, which was, of course, canceled. And then we tried to pull something together for the fall. And, you know, the rates had gone down over the summer. We were like, maybe we can do it. And then as soon as we started trying to do rehearsals, the rates just started climbing back up, and it just wasn't going to be possible. So we did not perform. We have not performed together in a year. The very last thing we did was get in the studio with Timothy and do this recording.
That's right. Yeah.
That was the last thing we did. So, and it's the last thing I've played since, you know, other than online things. So we're hopeful that later this spring that, you know, once there's a majority of people that are vaccinated, that we'll be able to start rehearsing together and get us back together and performing. Because like I said, we have these two pieces. We have a lovely program all set and ready to be rehearsed. Huh?
Two.
Yeah, we have two programs. Yeah, the one that was supposed to be last March, and then the one that we were trying to do this fall.
Yeah.
Almost did it.
Beethoven tribute. We were really close. We got this close, and then it just got too dangerous to do. So
yeah.
So let's hope for June, or that's what we're hoping. Like
late
May, early June.
So I know how difficult musicians' lives are. I am a musician myself, although I'm sort of doing something else called filmmaking. So uh, now all artists, sort of their lives, all kind of then we don't have 9 to 5 job, right? So our lives are very different. And so would you like to share a little bit about what kind of advice you will give to young people, how someone want to be, a musician, a professional musician, a professional ensemble musician, how do they expecting their lives would be like, whether there's a pandemic or not?
Make sure you have a backup.
Make sure you have a wealthy spouse.
Marry well. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
just always try to be your most excellent, and always be prepared and be joyous to be with, and you will make the right connections at some point. But just being good isn't enough. I mean, it is such a difficult field to do anything in, I mean, there's a handful of flute players who do any work in New York at all compared to the number of flute players there are there. And I think that's true for almost every instrument. It's tough. It's tough. It is a tough business. And you just have to be lucky and meet the right people and be good.
Great.
well, and all three of us teach extensively. That's part of the equation.
That's the backup.
I've been very blessed this last year because I teach at Montclair University, and although it's not, the greatest way to deliver our teaching product, we've had benefit of Zoom and various platforms like Clean Feed and Jam Kazam. So I've been able to at least keep the teaching going. I'm also the music minister at a church, and since the beginning of all this mishigas, at the end of last February, we have been doing Zoom services, which are actually hybrid, because the cantor and I are in the church, in the auditorium, socially distanced. Our minister is in Long Island. Our religious educational person is up in Rhinebeck, and our tech, we have 2 tech people. One is in Ridgewood and one is down in the Meadowlands. So, and we, over time, we've kind of refined the process, and we actually put forth Sunday services that look pretty smooth and are astounding, thanks to the cooperation of everybody involved. But getting back to, well, are we off the subject of what we would?
A little bit. We went a little astray there, Ron.
Well, she asked how we were doing this year during.
What was our advice to young people starting out? Was what she asked.
Well, I would say not to be too specific about your studies. Try to increase your general knowledge of music. I can certainly speak as a pianist, and the more there are many skills that a pianist can master, including a whole spectrum of collaborative skills. And although I originally I thought I was going to be a flaming soloist, and I kind of eschewed collaborative. I still was interested in the repertoire, and I was interested in collaborating just for fun. And little did I know that way down the road, it was going to make me much, much more marketable. So I would say, follow your curiosity. Learn about the pieces you're playing, learn about the composers, learn about the periods of music that these things come from. It will stand you in good stead. Don, I think you wanted to say something? No?
Well, I just like to also add that if you know, for me, it was like find the niche that isn't being filled. So there's plenty of people out there playing Mozart flute quartets. There's plenty of people out there playing, you know, flute and harp pieces, but there's hardly any. I mean, now, because we've been in existence for so long, there's actually enough repertoire for other groups of this instrumentation to be viable. But, you know, because we created that, we kind of created this repertoire by commissioning it all. So, you know, we found a place that wasn't being serviced, as it were. It wasn't being a need
Right.
for a place that's not filled, and we filled it. So,
Yeah.
you know, find something else that isn't like, you know, the flute, trumpet, and bass violin or something, you know, and maybe it'll, you know, you find your niche and find a place that isn't being serviced.
Be tenacious. It's hard.
And doing new music is, you know, it's the hallmark of every Palisades Virtuosi concert is that our people that come to our concerts will hear something that they have never heard before, and that nobody else has ever heard before. So it's like, it's always
Sometimes
exciting.
we haven't heard it before.
Sometimes it sounds totally different from what we thought it was going to sound like.
Guilty.
What's a few extra notes?
So I do not know your combination, ensemble combination. Can you give me a couple of names, like so-called famous composers wrote combination for flute, piano, and clarinet?
You mean originally or
Yes, original. Yeah.
Bloch?
Bloch. Okay.
Saint-Saëns,
Sanson wrote a
Sanson.
number.
very famous Tarantella.
Maurice Emmanuel. Who else wrote?
So it's all like 19th
19th and 20th, early
20th century.
20th.
Yeah.
You know, a handful of pieces that have been original pieces for this before we came along. So, you know, now there's, you know, there's, go to the website, you know, there's lists of all the
There's
pieces.
a lot of music now.
I want to show. Hold on a second. I want to show your website. Your website.
You want me to send you the
Yeah, it's right here. I want to show.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da, there we are. And if you go up the record, well, if you scroll down, you'll see the link to this is our new album, which is getting its baptism on Sunday.
So tell me a little bit about this artwork. Very interesting.
It was done by the artist who works for Forte Records. Her name's Susan Herbst.
Wow.
And Jeffrey James suggested that we approach her to do the artwork. And because it kind of has this story theme, I think it was Ron's idea to do a stack of books.
Yep.
And it kind of, you know, it calls out the flavor of that, and the songs and story, the font is kind of like that medieval kind of look to it. So it's evocative of, you know, being in a library and reading stories.
Right. Right. Nice. Nice.
And then if you go to the very top of the website, you can go to the very top. Along the top, there's recordings. Click on recordings.
Recordings. Yes.
Right there. And then there's a page for each of the volumes.
Yeah.
Click on
volumes.
Yes, there's like a synopsis of all of them on the first page, and then there's a page for each one. It has all the full CD booklet notes, has artist bios and everything. That's one thing about this particular CD. It's a fold-out wallet, so there's not a lot of room for information in there. So we did an online CD booklet that has the full pictures and bios of all the artists and composers. The only thing that's really on the album cover itself is the stories, you know, because we figured that's the most important thing, is to have why it's a story or what the story is about. So these are all the different albums that we have.
Yay. Wow. Beautiful cover.
I'm getting exhausted looking at it.
Exhausted putting this damn site together.
A lot of light is flashing in front of your eyes.
News, and you have videos.
Yes, we have video clips in there. There's a bunch of different things in there.
Hey, who made this?
Oh, look at that. That's Ching. Video Ching Juhl. There you are.
Can you hear if I click it?
I don't know. You should.
Let me know. Can you hear?
I can't hear it. Can you?
Oh, okay. Because because when I went in there, it was not as audio file.
Oh,
So yeah, because when I went to share, well, I'm just curious now. Like, see,
Huh.
when I was sharing it, right? I'll share it, and then I share it, and I share it, and I need to click. There is a tiny little square on the side says share audio, and then yeah,
It's
and because
different.
because I was okay. Then I go into your So let's see if I can hear. Okay, just goes. Can you hear?
Yep.
What is this? I don't remember. Dog Tales.
Yeah, it was from the Bergen Community College concert,
Yes.
and it's Adrienne Albert. She's a lovely, lovely woman she was there that night. I think you met her. She came out from California for it.
Adrian.
Oh, yes, I remember. This is the one about the dog.
That looks like a bass clarinet.
There it is.
Yes, in the next movement.
That's the second interval.
Am I on the right clarinet?
No, remember it was a typo. When we
Huh?
recorded it, that clash is not in the recording of it.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a typo in the music, and it was wrong. So we played seconds, and it was supposed to be unison.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we found out afterward that it was a typographical error that she had made, and she didn't know.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Anyways, there's all
Wonderful.
kinds of, there's other videos there from a bunch of different things. And so it's a pretty elaborate website. You can spend a lot of time there.
Hey, I did that too.
Yes, you did that one also. Volume 6. Both of those are Volume 6.
Yeah, that's Gersh. Wait, what'd you say? Oh, Evolcare 2. Oh, I don't
That was the
remember.
one with the bowls, remember? With the meditation bowls?
Oh, should I
Yeah.
play a little?
Sure, why not?
I don't know if you can tell.
Oh yeah, you're doing something else. Multitasking.
Really hard to hear once it gets going. You're not sure you're going to hear it.
Why is it so soft?
There you go. Now you know. Yeah, it's not coming through.
Yeah,
But
maybe
it's
the recording was too kind of soft to begin with.
Dawn's big solo here.
Oh,
Here he goes.
what the heck is that?
I think I needed a better read for this.
It was a bowl. It's one of the meditation bowls. It's inside the piano, and he's sliding it on the strings.
Destructive behavior.
He was very gentle.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
But
yeah,
that's a piece. Well,
It's beautiful.
it's a really beautiful piece. He's rocking the bowl.
it really is
Sorry.
a piece that
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
lovely.
it's really
So
best when you're
beautiful.
there. You
Yeah.
really feel everything that's happening.
Yeah,
Almost a
beautiful.
performance piece.
It was very evocative. So anyways,
Yeah.
one of the CDs has its own page with all the information and notes and all that stuff. I haven't done sound clips for volume 7 yet.
Yeah, I have your CD ready for people to see. See, that's Palisades Virtuosi.
Yep.
Your website. Yeah. So now should we play? We have 2 more excerpts. So should we play one of them?
Jeffries.
Jeffrey Kaufman,
Oh yeah. Okay.
you want to do that? You
So
okay with that?
tell us what I'm looking for. You tell us what are we listening?
Okay, so this piece is based on the poetry of William Carlos Williams, who was a very famous, world famous poet. He was from Paterson, New Jersey, and or from New Jersey area, I think Rutherford actually, which is right next to Paterson. So the history of Paterson was it was all silk barons. The silk manufacturing was all in that city, and there was a lot of industry, and then all of that, of course, died out in the beginning of the 1900s, and then it became the Paterson we know now, which is regentrifying again. Everything goes in cycles. But it was this particular the poem is supposed to be describing Paterson as if it were in the guise of a man or a person. And it has the famous waterfall that the Great Falls in Paterson is like the tallest. It's like the largest drop on the East Coast.
Radio.
Yes.
Hi, Ellie. and then this section of it is supposed to evoke the machinery of the factories. So this particular composer, Jeffrey Kaufman, he's a New Jersey composer, as many of our composers are, and this is one of the few pieces that we've ever done that has tracks, right? Have we ever done anything with tracks before? Inserted tracks. So we had a waterfall inserted into the piece, and then there was another glass harmonica that was in for effect. And then this particular section, the composer created this rhythmic underpinning electronically, and then played that. We played that in the performance, and then we have to join playing the same stuff. So it's kind of really cool. This is just that one section of the piece.
Okay, here we go.
Immortal, he neither moves nor rouses, and is seldom seen. Though he breathes, and the subtleties of his machinations, drawing their substance from the noise of the pouring river, animate 1,000 automations. Animate 1,000 automations.
It's very cool.
The sequel. It's ended in a place that I did not expecting.
Yeah. Well, it's a long piece. It's about 18 minutes long. So this is just the little section that's kind of illustrating the machinery and stuff.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Did we get union dues for that?
Yeah. No, so just a word about the people that were involved in this album. So we've done this, like I said, it's our 7th album, but it's just been the trio. And occasionally we had like one person come on and do one narration on something like a long time ago. And we don't have guests on our albums until now. So in order to tell a story, you need somebody to be able to talk, and we're busy playing. So as you heard before, Barbara Dever, mezzo-soprano from the Metropolitan Opera, just glorious, amazing voice, just beautiful person, wonderful performer, and we just loved playing with her so much. Frank Basile was the narrator on this that you just saw, and he also sang on a piece that Ron wrote. Ron is also a composer.
And conductor.
And conductor, yes. Well, that was tricky. That's right. It's so off. It's like, where's the beat? It was a hard one to figure out. And Timothy Maureen Cole was our soprano. And for the Sea Princess, she was only involved in that one piece, but it was 15 minutes worth of the project. Frank Basile again is he's narrator on this piece, and on the final piece he does the readings in between, which we'll talk about that piece at the end. And our producer, John Ostendorf, has a long history as a singer, quite well known, actually. Sang with City Opera and, done a beautiful voice. But he has since moved into producing CDs, and he's been doing that for the last 20 years or so, or longer. And he is just a fabulous producer, but we also needed a narrator for the very first piece on the album. The first piece was the story, the Portraits of Van Gogh, and it's the story of the artist's life based on through 4 of his most famous paintings. So there's narration, and the composer wrote it originally. Martin Sedek wrote it originally for the instrumentalists to do the narration itself, and Ron felt that it was kind of disjunct having 3 different voices. I always like talking in public. I never have a problem. Don hates to talk in public, right? Am I right? He doesn't like narrating, so he wasn't that comfortable with the whole idea of actually recording.
I don't like doing it either.
I love talking
in public.
Yeah,
I love talking in public, but that's me. So anyways, we decided we had a lot of discussions about it, and we decided that we felt that John would be the perfect person to narrate this. And he was, and he brings so much empathy and heart to this reading that he does. It's just fabulous. You'll hear a little excerpt.
Tour.
Yeah.
You'll hear a little excerpt from that on Sunday. In the video on Sunday. So
forget Marisol.
Yeah. I wanted to thank our audience. I know we have some people listening to us. They are a little bit shy and not writing down the questions. So I welcome you to ask our the Palisades Virtuosi musicians. If you have any questions, you can type in the comments. And I'd like to also tell you that since the lockdown, I started this talk show on my channel, Juhl Media. Today is number 91 episodes.
Oh, wow. See, 90 pieces, 91 episodes.
Yeah, so you're my 91 episodes. And I welcome you to subscribe my YouTube channel, which is Juhl Media, please. I have like 4,000,
Look at that, out of the ashes.
Wow, great.
4,000.
So anyways, I was still talking about the artists that we have involved, and
okay, you're not done.
Also,
Okay.
We just heard cello. We
Yeah.
have never had a piece with cello.
Hello, right.
So that was Marisol Espada. She's a longtime colleague of mine and friend, and when we needed a cello, I just thought of her, immediately thought that would be a great fit, and she was a great fit, and she sounded beautiful. And it was a lot of fun to work with her also. And then our composers, of course, Seymour Barab has passed on, but Thomas Junot, we heard a little bit of his music. Jeffrey Kaufman. Ron wrote a short piece. Which, you want to say something about your piece?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. It's a song, and it was originally just for voice and piano. But when we were looking for a little something, we needed something a little to fit in here and just be like the perfect little flavor. And so we thought of this because it fit. El Dorado is the name of the song. It's after that Edgar Allan Poe song, poem, and it's Mythical City of Gold. So it fit with our theme. And Ron said, well, I could just, rewrite it. And so he wrote a flute part and a bass clarinet part, and it's very cool. So that's only available on the album.
We're going to hear it Sunday.
We'll hear it Sunday for just voice and piano. We don't have the version on video. We don't have that on video, but it's
the original version.
The original. You'll hear the original. The other two composers.
You could play the track against the video and see who finishes first.
I don't know, man. You know, with the composer at the piano, he's pretty steady with the tempo he wants. Our other two composers, Roger Stubblefield, is a young composer out in New Jersey, and he wrote a piece that's the only piece that doesn't have a guest artist on it. It's called Fire Diamond, and it's this mythical tale that he made up to kind of go with the piece he was writing. The Fire Diamond is this mythical stone that the climbers have to climb the highest mountain in the world to get to, and there's a whole like story that's in the CD.
It's like a tone poem.
Yeah, it's like a little tone poem. So that's a very cool piece. That's programmatic. So that's the story that it's telling. And then the final piece on the album is by Carrie Turner, who's originally, I think he's still an American citizen, but he lives in Luxembourg. And teaches, I guess, and works there and composes there. And he wrote a piece called Vatek Revisited, and that's inspired by the William Beckford Gothic novel. It was like the very first Gothic novel about the history of the Caliph Vatek. And he was, there's characters in the book. There's like 7 characters in the book, and he wrote 7 movements about them. And Ron had the bright idea to have a narrator reading portions of the book that related to that movement in between. So it's like a collaboration between Ron and the composer. So the pieces in between were narrated by Frank Bazille, and Carrie Turner wrote the final movement is a fugue movement. So I think we're going to play the second movement. That's what it is. This is the movement that's supposed to represent the Caliph himself, Vatek, and he was supposed to be very evil, and he could kill a man with one look of his evil eye, and all this. It's that kind of very evocative Middle Ages kind of, not Middle Ages, but Middle Eastern. Turkish kind of atmosphere. Oh, and we don't have video for this, so we only have the recording, and because we didn't have a video for it, I kind of put pictures together that kind of were evocative of that era and that area. So that's what I have for that. So I don't know if you want to pull that up and play that. That's the second movement.
Okay. Let me go. So tell us what I'm looking for. It. Tell us a little bit about Sunday, for how long and where.
Oh, you want to do that before you play the Vatek?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about that first. So Sunday at 4:00, we have a video of highlights, and you'll also see the composers will be on screen talking about their pieces or greeting people. We're each talking on the video, and it'll be a chance for everybody to see and hear from each of the artists, and also small short clips from each of the pieces on the album. In Ron's case, it's a 3-minute piece, so you get to hear the whole thing. And that's basically what it's about. And then afterward, we're planning to have a Zoom party. So anyone who comes to watch the premiere can come afterward and bring a glass of wine and sit with us for a little bit and say hello. And, we've just missed being in the concert hall this year so much. We've missed seeing our friends and people that have come to our concerts all the time. It's so hard. I think it's the hardest thing about the pandemic is not having that chance to be with our community. So we're doing this Zoom party, and we really hope that anybody that comes to watch the premiere of the film will join the Zoom party afterward and stop by and say hello, and hopefully everybody will be there and we can all hang out for a little bit.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say Sunday you're doing a premiere on YouTube, and then you say you have people talk about it, all of these, it's already made a video, right? It's now you're doing live.
I made the video.
Wow, awesome.
It's not going to be a Juhl production. It won't be that slick, but
Right.
No, actually,
Because I thought you were doing live. I didn't know how to do that.
No. It's a video.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to actually give you a shout out. I watched it, and it is so beautifully done.
What?
I was very, very impressed, and I shared it with a couple other people.
What are you talking about? Her video.
This is okay. Well, remember, Sunday is going to be a 2-part adventure. Video first is about 53 minutes that Margaret produced. She put together an amalgam of images from concerts and shout outs from the composers and sound bites from the album. It's really, really beautifully done. And then at the conclusion of the 53 minutes, then we adjourn to the Zoom room. It's bring your own bottle. We'll all get nutty and crazy. Woo-hoo!
There you go. That's it. That's the plan.
Great. I can't wait to see it. I want to see it. What program did you use to edit them?
I'm using iMovie. So
iMovie is great.
It's for that, and it's fairly intuitive. I mean, I'm a big disclaimer here. I'm completely self-taught. I've had no training.
Yeah,
so
no.
It's okay. I mean, I've learned how to do things. But
It looks very professional.
Oh, really? Yeah. I believe that. Okay, here we go. That's
and fade outs and
fade-ins.
and nobody will get dizzy.
I can use the spin out technique.
That's funny. Well, here we go. So this is our last video bites by how do you say his name?
Carrie Turner. Carrie Turner.
Okay.
This is the one I was talking about before.
Yeah.
Vatek Revisited. This is the second movement, and it's supposed to be the music that represents the Caliph Vatek and how nasty and horrible and scary he is. Very
his mother wasn't a saint either.
Oh, his mother's really bad.
Okay, here we go. Beautiful. So what? Tell me again. Where are these images come from?
Just the internet.
Okay.
You took a little trip.
Hopefully nobody has a problem.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're not out selling this or making money with it. We're just, promoting the music.
Yeah. So I have a question. When you say you produce CD, and then when the CD is out there, where can people buy them?
Everywhere. Wherever
Yeah.
you buy music, it's already at iTunes. It's at, it's everywhere. Apple Music, it's on Amazon. It's everywhere.
Oh,
Wherever
awesome.
you buy music.
Awesome.
And Forte Records too. That has a bunch of links. On Naxos, I think it's a Naxos
From
library.
us.
Mm.
And from us, we have.
If anybody ever has questions, all they have to do is Google us at palisadesvirtuosi.org.
Yeah.
And we'll be very happy to bludgeon them with information.
There's a lot of information at the website. There's a full page for every CD with clips, although I haven't got clips for this up yet. But you can also purchase the CDs through us if you wish. But it's, we have the physical CDs, but the digital, the streaming version is everywhere, wherever you get your music.
Okay. So probably today's video is copyright. Probably will have copyright issue with YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It has a label.
Oh, it's the only copyright issue is us. We're the ones that hold the copyright. And the only other issue is if you're using it to make money. When you read those warnings on there, it just says if you're trying, you're gonna have to, resolve any copyright issues before you use this to create income. Basically, we don't have a big enough station to do that kind of thing. We don't have a big enough channel to charge money or do we don't do advertising. We don't do anything. We just have videos up there. So there's never any issue with that.
Good to know. That's good to know. Great.
And
So
as far as the Islamic images, they should thank us for promoting their religion.
yes.
I just thought they were evocative,
Yeah. So, all right. We covered quite a lot, and congratulations on your work on your new CDs release. On Sunday party. I can't wait to see it. And anybody have any questions in our audience? If you want to ask, we have 1 minute or two left. And thank you so much for sharing your talent and your passion and your wisdom and your secret with us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, really.
Of course. Yes.
What a pleasure.
Yeah. So, Don, you want to say some conclusion words? Since you don't say enough.
I hope everyone comes Sunday. We'll see.
Uh-huh.
Come back and see us. We have a lot more music there.
And you have the link. Did you put the link out for the Sunday?
Yes. It's
Okay.
in the link is at the chat, at the comments section. Yeah. And then I can put that later in your description. If you want me to.
Perfect.
In the YouTube description.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
So we're good.
Thank you.
I sometimes do a rapid fire with my guests, but today is 3 of you. How about I ask a silly question? Okay, I'll ask a silly question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. If you win $25 million tomorrow, what will you do, Margaret?
I would pay for Don and Ron and me to go to the studio for about a year and record all the music that we have.
Oh, I was going to retire.
Yeah, I'd retire too, but I think there'd be enough money to get us into the studio first.
For about one album.
25 million?
Guys, I made a list. This is volume 8 here. We got volume 8 ready to go.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Oh.
We still have all these pieces to record.
Yes. What about you, Dong? What will you do for 25 million?
Absolutely. Go into the recording studio. I'd love to, really.
Yeah.
You're lying.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Do it first. Use it
Yeah.
for that
I
first.
do have some bills to pay, but
Yeah.
Yeah, pay the bills. Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Off the
I
house.
sent my car out of the garage.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the alpha. You get the alpha?
So what is your version, Ron?
I told you.
You
Retire.
did? Retire. Oh, okay. Okay.
But what would you do?
What do
Huh?
you do?
What would you do? Just sit on a beach or what?
No, I do all the things that I gave up for music.
Like?
Like
He's
what?
lying. He's retired now.
I buy a lot of art.
Yeah, this is true. He has
Oh. Oh,
That-
you
That's
are
my
art.
passion.
See, he doesn't have enough of it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
No,
Wow. That's
Actually,
good to know.
you want me to be serious?
Yes.
Palisades Virtuosi has a number of projects that we've talked about over the years. One is establishing a real publishing and printing endeavor to standardize editions of all the things that we've commissioned, and so that would certainly keep us busy. We also have had aspirations of doing competitions for young composers, and also we are basically a domestic endeavor. We would love to reach across the ocean and start commissioning works from other nations. So there's a lot. And it probably would go beyond the 25 million. So if we were going to do it properly.
Well, if we win 25 million, we're good.
That's
Aren't
good.
you glad you asked?
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Well, thank you so much, and so wonderful to talk to you. And I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you all on Sunday. Thank you for coming to listen.
Yeah.
And Ching,
out there.
thank you for this wonderful thing that you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's a lot of fun. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Bye, audience
All right.
out there.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.